tell you, I am getting ready to leave. I have limited battery. But I will go ahead and charge my phone as best I can while I think about it. I got an episode of Phil, Shaggy Phil, recorded last night, so I have no laptop. We're gonna do this because I gotta start making money, guys. I gotta start making money at this. I gotta start being able to know that I can come here and then I can greet you and then I can ask you what's up with your days and I can get you talking about the things that you're learning and the things that you're engaging in, and that on its own right is going to generate me not super chats, not super likes, but Patreon subs and Cash App tips. I gotta be able to count on that someday. And there's a reason for this. There's a very real reason for this. There was a time where I had a couple of people who were hanging out at the fountain who were likewise going through hard times. And they weren't hanging out at the fountain by their own right. I'm not going to say that they were, and I'm not going to say that evidence suggests otherwise now. But they were saying that they weren't hanging out at the fountain around a disadvantaged person because they were trying to glean some of that disadvantaged person's tips. They weren't trying to take that person's money. Hello, Casey. Like busking on the same corner as another busker who's been there already. They weren't doing that. They were just trying to get through their day the way everybody else does. And for whatever reason, they decided to ask me for help or let me know that they were also struggling in a way that I took it upon myself to solve multiple times to the tunes of a couple of $100. And so if when I have enough money, am able to say, hey, I've got what I need, I'm generating a little bit of an income here, I have Patreon subs, these people are in more dire need than what I am. What do you do? Do you evaluate your weekly or monthly or even your per diem and say to yourself, well, I've got more than what I need. I can make sure that some of this goes to the needy, some of this can go to the poor, some of this can go to those who have less than I. Do you go looking for those people with money burning in your hole in your pocket, with the knowledge that you have more than what you need burning a hole in your heart? Do you? Because I do. I need to be able to count on generating an income at this because I need to be able to count on other people's money going to things that are more important. Do you ever think about that? Other people's money. You ever think about a next man up mentality as regards your society, the people around you? You ever think about, like, if the teen mom gets cancer, who's going to step up in her spot? Or do you just assume that it's going to be taken care of because it's always been taken care of? Because that's what governments and homeowners associations and teen mom groups are for. PTAs. Do you just assume somebody else has already got it under control and that you can just do whatever, exist, live your best life without having to think about who's going to step up in the case of an event, of an emergency, of an emergent situation. Doesn't even have to be a crisis. It could just be an emergent situation. Do you ever think about how you benefit or don't benefit the people around you? I spend a lot of time thinking about how I can provide benefits to the people around me. For example, like I'll sit in that Panera and I'll watch people struggle to get their food to their table. And it's hard for me not to jump up and say, "Can I take that from you? Can I help?" I'll stand and I'll hold the door longer than it's okay that I'm holding the door because somebody needs to do it. None of these chuckle fucks is going to do it and smile at everybody who walks past them. They're going to have an attitude about it because what? They're losing 90 of their seconds that they were going to spend what? Standing in a line. Do you ever think about that? Like time budget. Do you ever like actually think about what you're emotionally reacting to and where you're going? What you're impatient to do? Do you ever think about that? It's like the people who gun it between red lights. Like you're impatient to stop again. You're impatient to gun it again. You're just impatient to be impatient again. And so I think about this stuff. How can I use the money, the very limited money that I make here? How can I use the credit to which I have access on something besides food? How can I use the resources that I have access to materially benefit not just the channel and not just the current Patreon subscribers, but a future audience of people I have yet to meet yet. A future audience of people who take me seriously because my current audience already do. I don't have that day. I spend a lot of time praying for that day. I spend a lot of time imagining what that day would look like so I'm prepared for it. And do you, I wonder whether you do that thing, whether you spend time doing mental reps or whether you spend time dissociating from your current reality. When you think about the future, when you think about the things that you want, and you say, "I would prefer my life were like this," do you do the mental reps for when you're eventually there? Ugh. People want to act shocked all the time that I'm decent at this thing. I don't leave a lot of dead airspace, and I can remember people. And oftentimes I can remember people with days and weeks between, maybe even months between. And I can remember our last conversation. You know that's what rich people do, right? You know that's what successful people do. You know you can't be the president of the United States if you don't remember the names of everyone in your staff, right? Well, they told us in school, they told all of us in school, that someday you could be the president of the United States. And all of you took it like it's a chance thing. Like it's just chance that you're going to be in that position, that it's down to random gambling with fate. That whether it happens or doesn't happen, it's a roll of the dice, and it's a roll of an infinitely large D20, uh, not even D20, a D infinity, and that whether you hit the presidency or not is the lottery. Whether you strike it rich or not is a lottery. Whether you're successful in your chosen pursuits or not is a lottery. So many people treated adulthood as children like it's a lottery, like it's random. And it's not random. The people with the skill sets have the positions. The people with the skills, the people with the knowledge, the people with the want to be, the drive. It's like motivation. People are always asking me if it's difficult to get motivated in one way or another. And I'm just like, no, it's not difficult for me to get motivated. I wake up every single day on every single day. Why? Because the things that I've set myself to get good at, the things that I've chosen to pursue, the skill sets that I've chosen to cultivate, the life that I have chosen to lead for myself is one that I have chosen. And so I wake up every day ready to get back at it. There's no get motivated. What are we talking about? Get motivated. Motivation. Think about it. Think about the word. Break it apart. Motive. What is a motive? When is the only place that you hear the word motive? Motive is the reason for doing something. In the case of how you hear it, criminal law, motive is the reason that the person did the bad thing. They had to have a motive. But if you actually look at the word motive, do you know what motile means? It means the thing that moved you. What was the thing that moved you to that action? What does that sound like? It sounds like physics, because it is. An object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. The motive is your outside force. It's the outside force that moved you to do the thing that you otherwise wouldn't probably not have done. That's why they need motive and opportunity. They need a thing that pushed you and an opportunity for you to have done the thing to prove that you did the thing. A motive is something outside of you that pushes you. Motive aided means something outside you is pushing you to do a thing. I don't need something outside me to push me. I don't need a carrot or a stick. I don't need the money to arrive. That's what I keep saying. I need to be able to know that the money is going to be here waiting for me to make it. Waiting for me to earn it. You're going to talk about motivated. I have a 16-hour day. I wake up sometime between 10 and noon, and I go from noon until minimum 4 a.m. That's 16 hours. Some days it stretches into 20, 24, 30 hours that I'm working, and then I'll find the sleep somewhere, because we can all sleep when we're dead. Motivated. You want to talk about motivated? Motivated and eager are different things. If you're looking for enthusiasm, if you're looking for eagerness, I don't exactly know what thuse is, but if you're looking for it to be inside you, enthusiasm, if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it outside yourself. You're not going to find it in the money. But you want to talk about enthusiasm? Enthusiasm was knowing when I was working service, when I was working tables, was knowing that I could walk in with a smile on my face and walk out with $100 in my pocket. You know, all I had to do was show up with a smile. Show up with a smile and hustle. That easy. The job is that easy. It's so funny. I sit on the phone with my girlfriend nearly every night at Pizza Cottage, and I talk about the service. Or I sit at Panera and I talk about the service, or we hang out in Taco Bell and I talk about the service. And it's so funny how just abhorrent, just how bad the service is in Panera. Because no one is willing to do the minimum requirement. No one is willing to do the minimum requirement of a service and hospitality job. Smile. They're unwilling to smile. You walk in and they look at you like, why are you here? What could you possibly want from me? And I go, hi. And they go, hi. Like it's too much work. It's too much work to do the minimum. And then there's one of the girls at Pizza Cottage hates my fucking guts. And then this is the other thing, is like jobs tend to self-select because they're volunteer positions. They should self-select because they're volunteer positions. But stupid people and rude people will just take a job because it's open. They won't think about, who am I taking this job from, right? Who am I taking this job from? Are the customers going to be as glad that it's me, or the person who wanted this gig. They don't think like that. So this bitch just walks around with a frown on her face the whole time, thinking that Uber hustle, basically running from table to table to table, so they can't talk to her, they can't ask her for things, is working hard. And it's not. It's not doing the job properly. It's in fact doing the job very badly. Because I come in and I want to buy 4 beers. I want to get drunk. And I get 1 beer. It sits on my table empty for a half an hour. She brings me the second one in a to-go cup. And then I have to wait for a half an hour for the check. I could have had 8 beers if she would have just stayed where she could see my table and saw how quickly I was going through the beers. And then she would have gotten, what is 8 beers times $4? $32 plus tip. And I tip at 50% on alcohol. So she would have got just $16 just from her bad service if she had done the bare minimum. The bare minimum would have raised her ticket total by $32. Actually, it would have raised it by $24. The bare minimum. But you guys want to bring your oppositional defiance. You want to bring your adult oppositional defiance, and you want to bring this. Well, I'm going to just try out adult oppositional defiance because it seems to work so well at the airport or at the bank or at these places where rich people go and need to be treated like shit in order to respect the environment in which they are in which they have found themselves, rather, in which they are working, which they are bothering, in which they are that they are in. And then she'll just be a cunty bitch to a homeless guy who's gonna leave her a 50% tip regardless of her attitude. I actually didn't leave her a good tip. I left her less than 15% the other night because she just had the absolute most shitty attitude, and I didn't do anything wrong. I am allowed to come in and get something to eat 2 hours before close. You are expected to continue serving with a smile 2 hours before close. If it were 2 minutes before close and I came in with my hunky-dory country bullshit, I would get it, bitch. So I need to be able to come to this space. I need to be able to turn my camera on in this way, and I need to be able to see $20 or $30 or $50 hit my Cash App before I go to edit, so that I can eat. So that I can eat. So I can continue to provide these lives to you. Those likes just mean fuck all to me now. They just don't mean fuck all to me. The like just says I'm not sticking around for this. But I want someone to think that this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy. I tell myself I'm going to come back and watch all of this. Just doesn't mean fuck all. I got people around me dying of cancer. I got a world that's fallen to shit, and I can't afford to eat. But you want me to come here so you can like. So you figure it out. I don't think you fully appreciate how easy that mute button is for me. I think you think I need the attention. I think you think I'm just like you. I think you think to yourself, oh, he dresses similar to the way that I do. Or, oh, his hair looks cool. I bet we could be friends because I'm super awesome. You, that's your dialogue. You think to yourself, I'm super awesome. Everyone likes me. Everyone wants to be my friend. Hey, Regine. Yeah, look at that. I thought I threw this away. for being tardy. There is no apology acceptable for being tarded, Rach. You will be on time, or your tardedness will be drawn attention to in front of the entire class. How do you feel about being tarded? $25. Yep, you're grounded. You're gonna have to see me after class for some detention. You deserve that. Let me find my ruler. For this exercise, you can refer to me as Mother Superior. Let's go. You ever feel like these motherfuckers just don't even deserve me? Yeah, me neither. You can do better. Rip the fucking seam, Rach. Jesus Christ. It's not that fucking hard. £10 of Shaggy in a 5-pound Rach bag. Da, da, da. Oh, I cannot wait for you to see my new strain, Rachie. And put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll. 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 I may not premiere it. I gotta edit it. And I haven't made any lunch money this first half hour. So really, I cannot actually afford to go get a burger. I really do have to go to Panera and sit down and hungrily edit. It's just what I have to do. Living in defiance of that is just going to get me even further and further behind. Panera is more expensive, which means we're not going to be eating, we're just going to be getting a drink. And then if I make any money in the next 5 hours, then we'll try dinner somewhere else. And if we don't, I've got $3 for Taco Bell. They want to live vicariously through me. They want to watch me and think, oh, I could do better. I could live better. Let them. Of destruction! Let them. Just let them do it silently. I'm going to start doing these as unlisted. These lives. I'm going to start doing them as unlisted with a link through the Patreon. I'm tired of talking to randos. I'm just going to start talking only to my Patreon members. I'm fucking sick of you chuckle fucks. Inconsistent, unreliable, largely useless. Stand tall, stand tall, just like the Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. We dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony, just like the Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. We dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony, swaying to the symphony of destruction. If after 2 years they haven't heard that my pelvis and knees and legs are absolutely ruined and living in this tent is only making it worse, if they still want to come here and pretend to be my friend while ignoring the fact that I am slowly dying and they're doing nothing to help, I don't need them in my life, Rach. Just don't need them. Happy to cut all these people all the way out of my life. God, this is so bad. Is this sleep token? It's even worse. And riding, we search across the land, as snow and wind, as frozen hearts and land, but we ride. We ride. 8 days ago, we get our own thoughts and ride into the night. And inside my son, to destroy your foes and leave them without life. Down and center, the land which we travel, middle and no direction unraveled, yet we ride. We ride. 30 days ago, we gave our homes and souls and ride into the night.
standing side by side to destroy your foes and leave them without life. Any time has passed since we left our webs and we've been gone, guess what? We never find our path that we should have fought and won, but we won't stop searching. Lost.
That's not what he's saying right now. That's what he's going to say.
Lost, but still we ride. Search until we die. We ride. Nearly and tired, the Fisher blade yields little. There's out on further dating rhyme and golden griddle, but we ride. We ride. The honor which you takes us into let us share lightly fire. As that's our story, and we lie and say we ride around for hire. This asks us if we'd like to pass a map and points us in the direction. But we are far too proud and strong, so we ignore her suggestion. Yes, but still we ride. Search until I die. Now, the thought of pride.
The gods sleep in the night.